The year 2020 has witnessed a series of crises, and this will continue wreaking havoc on our economy in the coming months. A very dark winter is almost upon us, and the Biden administration is not trying to deny that things are about to get very bad for the American populace. This explains to a large extent why many Americans are being moved by panic and desperation, with many rushing to stockpile in what is fast becoming a shopping frenzy. Those that could still afford to buy essential items like staples, toilet papers, hand sanitizers, and other grocery items go all out in a bid to save for the lockdown, while those at the other spectrum are stuck in long lines at food banks, waiting patiently for food that would sustain them for a day or two. With the election fading in the news, we are still confronted by the fears of a surge in new cases of the virus across the country. This is taking a toll on the public mindset. It has given birth to an insane hoarding behavior and putting a strain on supermarket retailers. They have become overwhelmed by the growing demands, which is as a result of the increased panic buying in a wide range of products. I'm certain that the unpleasant memories of March is still fresh on our minds, when consumers filled up stores to stock up essential products, especially toilet papers, hand sanitizers, and canned food, resulting in empty supermarket shelves. The poor that depended on external aid to put food on their tables were seen waiting in food bank queues, which were already overwhelmed by the unprecedented rise in demand. As we gradually put the November election behind us, the new cases of the virus confirmed has become the main focus of the American mainstream media, inciting the public to react in fear. Now a repeat of the shortages in March is imminent. In addition to the fear the mainstream media is injecting into the minds of people, the possibility of another strict lockdown amid the surge in virus cases is causing many Americans to worry over being stuck at home again without enough toilet paper and other essential items. Companies are already talking about the occurrence of supply chain disruptions and expressed fear of the situation getting exacerbated. President-elect Joe Biden has repeatedly stressed on the need for bold action in combating the outbreak and added that the U.S. could still experience a very dark winter. Biden's campaign focused extensively on the health crisis, pledging to go all out in curtailing the effects of the outbreak. Biden's health advisor hints on his plan to shut down the entire economy for weeks to forestall the spread of the virus. Even though winter is 1 month away, consumer hoarding behavior has already been registered across the country. After the bust of the crisis in March, it became impossible to find any store that had even a bottle of hand sanitizer in California. This makes the rush to stock up supplies understandable. Cleaning materials, staples, and other grocery items were completely sold out across the state. Toilet papers became gold. Some consumers even resorted to theft out of desperation. Similar occurrences were recorded across the country and are expected to continue since many lack the means to afford such products. The trend of panic buying saw giant retailer Walmart stockpiling in advance after the first major disruption of supply chains. This was done to prevent shortages. Supply chains are constantly finding it hard to keep up with the growing demand. Panic buying and the mad rush to hoard essential products has seen many leading grocery stores ration products and placed restrictions on the amount of toilet paper consumers can buy in an attempt to keep their shelves stocked. Similarly, in Texas, some stores placed limit of 2 on purchase of disinfectants and antibacterial sprays. The data by marketing research team INR revealed that approximately 21% of paper products and 16% of household cleaning products were out of stock during the week in November 15. Some experts predicted the possibility of panic buying and hoarding behavior becoming the retailer's nightmare. They predict panic buying to reach an unprecedented proportion within the next few weeks, even though it is just starting. Panic buying has become so serious that it's being studied as a social phenomenon caused by the consequences of the sanitary crisis. Supply chains were disrupted immediately after the outbreak, placing a strain on supermarket retailers and limiting communities' access to essential products. Psychologists have tried to weigh in on why people hoard products massively despite not making use of them. A study carried out by the International Journal of Environmental Resource and Public Health revealed that panic buying response is triggered by fear. Researchers have observed in survival psychology that it is widely acknowledged that individuals undergo behavioral changes following major events such as natural disasters and disease outbreaks that disrupt lives or threaten the individual's health. The stress of uncertain times like this plunge people into a panic zone that make them irrational. This unusual shopping behaviors serve as a form of coping mechanism to deal with fear and allay anxieties. It also gives the individual a sense of control. Analysts believe the panic returned following the governor of California's announcement that 94% of residents will shift back under the state's toughest restrictions as cases spike in less than 10 days. In Washington, strict restriction policies were also issued, and law enforcement officers were deployed to enforce the restriction rules with limits placed on the number of people to have over for Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. In some households, Thanksgiving guests were disallowed outrightly. The governor of Oregon enforced a 2 weeks lockdown. Local officials were asked to collaborate with law enforcement officers to ensure the strict adherence to the restriction guidelines. All these have pushed many people to rush down to stores, leaving shelves empty. In Washington, the shelves of many stores are already empty, giving us a reminder of the beginning of the crisis in March. The demand for many holiday items is on the high side, and this isn't peculiar to Washington alone. It is a nationwide demand. Despite the proactive steps taken by several grocery stores to prevent a repeat of the shortages witnessed in March, and as a result of hoarding, many stores have not been able to bounce back from the first round of the lockdown. The queue at food banks nationwide has doubled as a result of the break in U.S. economic activities, which resulted in millions losing their jobs. The calamitous economic meltdown has plunged many people into poverty. Unfortunately, this is a common trend all over the country, and with this second round of lockdown, it will only get aggravated as we prepare to enter a new year, according to Michael Cinder. The lockdown has not only made panic shopping behavior worse, but also enhanced economic disruption. Food banks rely on grocery chains, and now that stores are strained by excessive demand and the break in supply chain, many people might not be able to access food by the end of the year. We have learned nothing from March, clearly.
If you liked the video, a sub to the channel would be incredible, and also share the video to spread the word. You can watch another video, just click left or right. Keep inspiring.